Yeah, and that leads nicely onto the strategy, of course, which we had a brilliant meeting last Wednesday with the board and the exco together for a full day to consider the somewhat revised exco strategy.
Yep.
We had loads of good debate, loads of really good questions, and at the end of the day gave the green light to a strategy that's even more ambitious than the one that we presented back at the Odeon. What was it about? It must be about a year and a half ago now. Tell me about the thinking behind the strategy, the modified, revised, even more ambitious strategy, even more go for it strategy than we had before, and we were going for it before.
Yeah, we were. And as everybody knows, we built a strategic plan. We presented it at the Odeon. It was very well received, and it was based around the concept of becoming a challenger brand. And there were a whole raft of strategic initiatives in place to help us deliver against that plan, including initiatives around people and systems and infrastructure and customer and brand. And a lot of those things have come to play and have been put in place and are now up and running. And in fact, we were talking earlier about the brand launch last week. Well, that was one of the main things that came out of the brand strand. For example, we're doing work on customer experience, the systems development work on building a Generation 3 systems development stack is making very good progress. We've done work on infrastructure. We have very nearly completed the next 50 exchanges to be unbundled, which will take us to 450. And on the people agenda, we've done a lot of work in terms of benefits and leadership development programs and lots more besides. So there's been lots of strategic work going on, but along the way, of course, markets never stay still. And so certain things have happened in the market which have made us reassess where we are and how we should go about the next few years, and that's resulted in a couple of tweaks to the strategic thinking. And I think probably the biggest change on the volume side of the business, on the retail and wholesale side of the business, has been a general reduction in pricing in the market. And so what we found was that our own pricing was slightly out of kilter with where the market was. In fact, our premium to the rest of the brands in the marketplace was unsustainably high.
Yes.
And so in order to respond to that, we brought our prices down, which is well known, and that's triggered
by a lot.
Yeah. In order to bring us still at a premium to 3 of the players in the market, but a slight discount to BT. And that meant that we were able to drive much enhanced volumes. We also did price reductions in Ethernet. So across the piece really, we took a more aggressive stance on price, and that proved to us that we could drive much enhanced volume. And if we're going to build out our infrastructure to be 700 exchanges in the fullness of time, then we need to prove to ourselves that we can fill that infrastructure with the right degree of volume. So this was an important test. I think I'll come to the ZEN business side of the business in a second, but so just sticking with volume for a moment, the if you like, the trial of lower pricing gave us the confidence to think about a different slant on how we positioned ZEN. So whereas we had historically been a premium brand justifying its premium price on the back of excellent customer experience, we wanted to shift that to be competitively priced with service, great service, as a differentiator. And that sounds like a bit of a semantic change, but actually it's a very big change in marketing and positioning terms, because it means that we're playing on a wider field. It means that we can drive to get to a much more credible challenger status more quickly. And what it also made us realize was that if that was the case, and if we were driving higher volumes, then we had to think very seriously about how we could accelerate the rollout of the infrastructure, because there was no point in having tens of thousands of customers who were not on our network and who we were paying BT for. So that made us rethink the infrastructure rollout, and that's what led to an acceleration of the exchange build.
Yeah.
And so, as you know, last week, central to the new proposal from the ExCo is that we go for an overtly volume-based strategy, and in parallel build out our infrastructure as quickly as is feasible in order to be able to take advantage of the many more thousands of customers that we will have. So then on the value side of the business, so ZEN Business itself, where we've enjoyed great success in the last few years in the mid-market and enterprise segments, we've recognized that the attraction, the demand for cloud-first services has really taken off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really new, but what I think has surprised us is the fit that ZEN as a brand has in terms of meeting customers' needs in the cloud space. And with that in mind, we are increasingly repositioning ourselves as a cloud-first business. And I think everyone will see that happen, see that approach take hold through marketing, through the website, through the sales activities, as we go forward over the next few months and years. So I suppose the two big changes were a rethink on price, which led to a rethink on the acceleration of the infrastructure. And then on the other hand, this focus on cloud. And I think all of that put together meant that we created a new model with new targets and new ambitions, a new need for financing in order to make sure that we were properly funded in order to put in all the resource required to do the infrastructure and achieve everything we want to achieve across the various people, systems, infrastructure, customer brand and product strands of activity. It was great that we were able to put that in front of the board and get broad acceptance and agreement to the direction in which we wish to go. So what happens next is that we do a few tweaks and amends, we make sure we got the financing in place, and then I want to do a big communication exercise to share with everybody in the business at a slightly more granular level than I've been through in this brief chat now, so that the new strategy can become truly embedded in the business. I mean, the cloud opportunity, I've chatted a few times about it, but it's super exciting. I mean, cloud